Hi you guys, my name is Vanessa and welcome to my channel. I cannot even believe that those words came out of my mouth because I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, just never did for various reasons, so I'm glad I'm finally getting over myself and just doing it. Before I get into the video, I just wanted to give some background. I am a nursing student, obviously. I just finished my first semester a couple weeks ago, so I got one down, 3 more to go. Feeling very proud of myself for getting through the first one because now I feel like I can get through all of them. I did want to preface by saying any tips or advice I mentioned throughout this video are based on my knowledge and experience with a traditional BSN program. So what that means for me was 2 years of prerequisites, 2 years of nursing school. It is my very first degree. But yeah, I just feel like I'm in a position to offer that knowledge, wisdom, experience to hopefully, potentially help anyone else going through the same thing. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you see me looking down on my phone, it's because I'm just reading off of my list, because if I didn't have one, I would be rambling forever. Might happen anyway. Let's hope not. My very first tip. Do your research to find out if nursing is the right career for you. So at this time in my life, like 3 years ago or more, I was researching a lot on Google, watching a lot of different YouTube videos about nursing students, and it helped a lot. So I definitely recommend doing that. If you have the opportunity to shadow a nurse or volunteer in a healthcare facility, definitely take advantage of that. I know not everyone has that opportunity, but like I said, if it's presented to you, take it. I got to volunteer at a children's hospital in high school for a summer, and that was very eye-opening, as well as shadowing a labor and delivery nurse for a few shifts. It just further validated that yes, this is what I want to do with my career. I will also say, do not base your career off of TV shows or movies or anything like that. So I'm talking about Grey's Anatomy, House, Nurse Jackie, Scrubs, any of those shows. Now I love them as much as the next girl, but I am not going to base my career off that because it is just not an accurate representation of what you would be doing in the hospital. I'm just saying. And I just want to end this tip by saying if you are in it for the wrong reasons, whether that's money or whatever else, you're going to get burnt out. Like, I hate to break it to you, it's difficult. It's very different than anything I've ever done. And if your heart and mind is not set on the goal of becoming a nurse for the right reasons, you're not going to make it, or maybe you will, but you're not going to be very happy. So keep that in mind. Tip number 2, get familiar with your school's degree plan as well as any other programs you plan on applying to. Basically, get ahead, start early, because every program is different. They require different prerequisites, different GPAs, and different entrance exam scores. So the sooner you know that, the better off you're going to be with planning your schedule accordingly. If you're still in high school, definitely look in to see if the college you want to go to has an early admission program. At the time, my program did, and I didn't know it until it was way late to apply for it, but it had to do with a certain cumulative GPA as well as a science GPA and a certain SAT or ACT score. So it basically secured your spot in the nursing program before you even got to college, which is amazing. I personally think my program did away with it by now. I'm not too sure, but definitely look into it. It doesn't hurt. Tip number 3, if you're still in high school, take those college classes early. So I'm talking AP and dual credit classes. I wasn't much of a dual credit person. I was more of an AP girl, but to each their own, whatever works for you and your schedule. Do that because it really helped lessen the load of my gen ed courses in college. So I could focus more on the pre-nursing school ones, which are more important. Oh, but I will say make sure that they transfer, because how sad would it be if you took all these AP classes and you spent money on the exam and then it didn't transfer. It happens though, so just double check. Tip number 4, prioritize those pre-nursing classes. Now, I will say that grades do not define you. I'm a big believer in that. Grades do not define you or the type of nurse you're going to be. However, the nursing school is going to want to see that you're serious about them, and they're going to want to see those grades. So you can't just be slacking off and getting C's. Like, I don't think it's going to work out. So definitely put forth the effort and try your hardest in those classes, because in my case scenario, they were worth more than the gen ed classes. Also, to add on to that, you might want to take your most needed classes first. So what that looked like for me, like I said, I had 2 years of prerequisites, so that's 4 semesters, or 5 if you want to count the summer class I took. But I took all my pre-nursing school classes in the first 3 semesters, and I applied during my 4th and was waiting for results during my 4th semester that I was wrapping up all the other state requirement classes. So I definitely recommend doing that first so you're sticking to your timeline. Also, I recommend not doubling up on your science classes, especially those that have a lab attached to them. That was just my personal preference. I thought that it would get too overwhelming or confusing, so I just spaced it out to where that wouldn't happen. Tip number 5, surround yourself with like-minded people and make sure you have the right support system. So for me, that was applying to be in my school's nursing LLC or living learning community, which basically meant that I was still living in the dorms, but I was on a floor of just nursing majors. And it was honestly the best decision I could have made, and I did not even think it was going to help as much as it did. So we all got to take classes together, and we had study halls together, and I was able to just ask any question to any of my neighbors or my roommate about any assignment, class, test, etc., and it was just very helpful. So I would look in to see if your school has something like that, because I highly recommend. As far as the right support system goes, you're going to want to talk to those important people in your life just to be like, hey, these are my goals, this is my dream, I might have to commit more of my time to this than what I normally do, but I still love you, and I would really appreciate your love and support. Something like that, you know, just talk to them and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Tip number 6, it's kind of obvious, but use a planner. Oh my God, use a planner, because I do not know how I would have been able to keep my head straight if I didn't have a planner with all of my due dates or work schedule or events I needed to go to, appointments, etc. Just use a planner. You're gonna thank me later. Tip number 7, develop the study habits now. So during my prerequisite classes, I'm definitely guilty of cramming the night before or only studying a couple of days before. But I'm telling you right now that when you're in the nursing program, it's not going to cut it. They tell you that you need to start studying about at least 1 week, but it should be like 2 weeks before your test, studying day by day so it doesn't get super overwhelming, because in nursing school you really have to know what you're talking about. It's no longer memorization, spit it out back on the test. Like, no. You truly have to understand your concepts. So I would recommend making those study habits back during your prereqs so you're not so overwhelmed trying to study for your nursing classes once you're in the program. Tip number 8, take everything day by day, little by little. It's kind of a mental health tip, because I'm telling you, it is going to be so easy to look down at your planner and see all the assignments you have due. Maybe you have work, maybe you have a kid, maybe you decided to join an extracurricular on campus, like I joined a sorority. So it's very easy to look at all that stuff and get very overwhelmed, but I'm telling you, it is so possible just with the right time management skills. I can do it, you can do it, because I was a full-time student, I did have a part-time job, I was in a sorority, and I even took on a leadership role within my sorority eventually. I was also maintaining friendships, relationships, anything like that. Like, it's life. We're all gonna have stuff that's gonna be going on, but just take it day by day, because you will get overwhelmed. Tip number 9, you're gonna wanna save money before you get into the program. I didn't really think about it back then, but oh my God, you're gonna wanna save your money, because little things that you never even thought of will just start to add up. Like from textbooks to scrubs to the stethoscope to fingerprinting, like all these random things that you wouldn't even know about till you're in the program, they will add up. So just make sure you save a little nest egg for when that happens. And also, with money, you're not going to be able to work nearly as much as you're used to if you do work, and which means you're not going to be making as much money as you're used to. So just plan accordingly, whatever that looks like for you. And my final tip, tip number 10, prepare for the entrance exam. For me, that was the ATITs. For you, it might be the HESI or any other exam, but for me it was the T's. I don't know why I thought scheduling my T's right after finals before Christmas was a great idea, but I just wanted to get out of the way and it kind of nipped me in the butt in the end. So I only gave myself about a week, or like 5 to 7 days, to actually study for my exam, and I did fine. But I know I could have done better if I had given myself more time. So just know yourself, know your study habits, know what you need to do to be able to succeed and get it right on the first time, because it's not free to take those entrance exams. Alright you guys, well that concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful in any way, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell to get notified every time I post a new video. If you are a nurse or a nursing school right now, comment down below what your tips would be to anyone thinking about nursing school or those who are taking those pre-nursing classes. Also, if you like this video, comment down below and say what you would like to see from me in the future. I definitely have some ideas, but it helps getting to hear from you guys. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Bye!